You are listening to KSG podcast. This is a short, crisp, concise, exam-oriented edited editorial for civil services aspirants. In this podcast, we are going to talk about art and surrogacy bills. Source for the content is Conain Sheriff M's article for the Indian Express. On 1st of December 2021, Lok Sabha passed the Assisted Reproductive Technology Regulation Bill 2020, which makes provisions for the safe and ethical practice of assisted reproductive technology or ART services in the country. Another key bill to safeguard the reproductive rights of women, the Surrogacy Regulation Bill 2019, was passed by Lok Sabha on the 5th of August 2019. This one was referred to a select committee which recommended that the art bill should be brought first so that all the highly technical and medical aspects could subsequently be addressed in the Surrogacy Regulation Bill 2019. So what is the difference? The Surrogacy Regulation Bill relates to surrogacy, an infertility treatment where a third person, a woman, is the surrogate mother. In art, treatments can be availed by the commissioning couple themselves, and it is not always necessary that a third person is involved. Surrogacy is allowed for only Indian married couples. Art procedures are open to married couples, live-in partners, single women, and also foreigners. A 2015 notification prohibits commissioning of surrogacy in India by foreigners or OCI or PIO card holders, but NRIs holding Indian citizenship can avail surrogacy. Foreigners can visit India under medical tourism to avail art services. Under the Surrogacy Bill, there will be a National Surrogacy Board that will be involved in policy making and act as a supervisory body, and state boards that will act as executive bodies. The Art Bill provides for a national board with the powers vested in a civil court under the Code of Civil Procedure. According to the Health Ministry, the estimated number of clinics practicing surrogacy in India is likely less than 1,000, while that of those practicing art is likely more than 40,000. Why was the art bill felt necessary? The growth of art clinics in India is among the highest in the world, and these are a key part of medical tourism. These offer gamete donation, intrauterine insemination, in vitro fertilization, intracytoplasmic sperm injection, and pre-implantation genetic diagnostic. India does not have standard protocols of art clinics yet. Amid questions raised on their ethical, medical, and legal aspects, Lok Sabha passed the bill that provides for regulation and supervision of art clinics and art banks. Now, what is an art bank? Under the bill, art will include all techniques that attempt to obtain a pregnancy by handling the sperm or the oocyte outside the human body and transferring the gamete or the embryo into the reproductive system of a woman. It defines an art bank as an organization set up to supply sperm or semen, oocytes or oocyte donors to art clinics or their patients. Art services will apply to women above the legal age of marriage and below 50, and to men above the legal age of marriage and below 55. Now, how will art services be regulated? The National Board will advise the Centre on policy matters. It will review and monitor rules and regulations and recommend any changes. It will set the minimum standards of physical infrastructure, laboratory and diagnostic equipment, and expert manpower to be employed by clinics and banks. State boards will coordinate the implementation of the guidelines. National Registry will have a central database on all clinics and banks in the country, including nature and types of services provided and the outcome of these services. The registry will provide the data to the National Board for making policies and guidelines. Registration Authority will have the chairperson, who will be an officer above the rank of Joint Secretary in the Health Department, a vice chairperson, who will be above the rank of the Joint Director in the Health Department, an eminent woman representing a women's organization, an officer of the Law Department, and an eminent registered medical practitioner. The registration authority's function will include to grant, suspend, or cancel the registration of art centers, to enforce the standards and supervise implementation of the law, to investigate complaints of any breach of provisions, to take legal action against the misuse of art and initiate independent investigations, and to recommend to the national and state boards on modifying the regulation with changes in technology and social conditions. Now, what rules must clinics comply with? They have to ensure that the commissioning couples, women, and donors of gametes are eligible for ART procedures and that the donor is medically tested. They will have to provide professional counseling about all the implications and chances of success and inform the couples about advantages, disadvantages, costs, side effects, and risks, including that of multiple pregnancies. They will have to establish a grievance cell. Art clinics will have to make the commissioning couple or woman aware of the rights of a child born through art and ensure all data is kept confidential. The bill says a child born through art shall be deemed to be a biological child of the commissioning couple. The child will be entitled to all the rights and privileges available to a natural child from the commissioning couple, and the donor will have to relinquish all parental rights over the child. That's it for this podcast. Thank you so much for listening. To join KSG India courses and to crack the ICE exam, visit ksgindia.com. You can also get a PDF of this podcast on ksgindia.com. Thanks for listening.